So what makes you stand out as a Latina in PR?
I think that especially in soccer, because it's such a global game, so many of us Latinas, we come from dual cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up sort of trying to find the the right line of balancing these two very what felt like very distinct sides of myself. Because I came to the country so early in life, I was like Americanized really quickly.
Yeah.
And then eventually my parents were like, "Oh my gosh, we like our kids can't lose the sight of us." But then every time we went back to Venezuela, even then I never felt like I fit in with that space anymore. And so I think that sort of being able to take experiences from different countries can I think can provide a lot of context. One thing I think about all the time is first like the media landscape that these men are now have to live in, where while the media in South America, for example, is a lot more antagonistic,
Mm-hmm.
they can avoid it a lot easier. But because the media in sports media in the United States is relatively unbiased, you don't have reporters trying to get you.
Yep.
Not in sports media. Like that's not really the case. You have to teach them that, but you have to also understand the place that they're coming from to do so. And I think a lot of people who haven't lived in those spaces or understand those cultures will be able to do that appropriately. And on top of that, even outside of the media stuff, it's the cultural aspect of what it's like living in America and the social dynamics and the social um, faux pas and know-hows. Like we've seen it a lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of like still, despite how diverse and global the game of soccer is, we still see a lot of racism in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to understand that while in America, racism is very, for lack of a better term, black and white,
Uh-huh.
in countries in South America where we are so mixed, it's not viewed the same. It
Yeah.
exists, but it's not viewed the same. And then we also have words that we use to describe one another that are terms of endearment, but if you say them here, they feel really offensive. And so it's understanding that that's like what they're working with, that's where they're coming from, and then trying to provide them a level of grace as they learn that like the culture they're in now is drastically different and there are different standards. And I think women are empathetic or more empathetic. Women, I think, as we've said, as we've talked about, we have to do a lot more to try to do a good job, to be taken a little bit more seriously. So we're doing excellent work, but we can relate to these individuals on a really on a deeper level, and just our background as being Hispanic women and understanding the two different cultures we have to live in.
Mm-hmm.
The Latin side, where we get called gordita,
Aha! Yep.
negrita, and all of these things that are terms of endearment, but that if you were to translate them in English, people are like, what the heck are you saying? Why are you calling her the little fat girl?
Yep.
That's weird. So knowing that like that's how we relate to one another in our culture, and sort of being able to like empathize with them and not be like easily and just not take everything that they say as they relate to one another and as they try to feel comfortable in this space, like so like just understanding where they're coming from. I think we as Latin women can in this space can do that because we have all the benefits of what it is to be a woman, the emotional IQ, the insane work ethic, and then the bilingual and bicultural aspect of it just makes it so that these men can feel comfortable with us in a different way that I think that they can feel that obviously they feel really comfortable with men because that's just like how it is, but we just relate in a slightly different way, and we just understand it a little bit more.